So this evening we're going to start standing. And I suggest you perhaps just close your eyes and see where your feet would like to go. So you can step your feet around a little bit, side to side, even forward and back. And literally ask your feet, where do you want to be? How am I going to be most stable and most comfortable? And then gradually feel yourself settling into an even standing position. So standing with attention and with your weight evenly balanced through both sides of your body, the left side and the right side. And then become aware of your breathing. And we're going to be working this evening with Ujjayi breath. So for anyone that maybe isn't familiar with Ujjayi breath, a quick rundown of what this is, what this means. A very common breathing technique in yoga practice. So in Ujjayi breath, you're going to be breathing in and out through your nostrils. So the breath comes in and out through the nose, but you let there be a slight rubbing in the back of the throat. And it's quite soft, so it has the sensation almost like a silk scarf running at the back of your throat. A nice way to get used to the sensation is to actually let your mouth open and imagine that you are breathing into a cold, frosty morning. You know, when you go to see if you can see your breath on a cold, frosty morning, and the breath comes from the back of the throat. It's that sort of feeling, only with the mouth closed. So it gives the breath a soft sound and sensation. And it allows us to have a little bit of control over the breath and to be able to regulate our breathing. Obviously, there are some days where, because you have a cold, your nose is all blocked up and this breathing just isn't accessible, in which case any breathing works wonderfully. So to this nice, smooth, steady, regular Ujjayi breath, we're going to add a little bit of movement. So our first pattern we're going to do is you breathe in, you take your arms out in front of you and all the way up above your head. Breathing out, pressing down into the balls of your feet, lift your heels. So you come up into a kind of tiptoe position. Breathing in, you're going to lower your heels back down to the floor and at the same time sort of slide your fingers upwards so you make yourself very long. And breathing out, lower your arms and rest them again down by your sides. So, and then if you've been really slowing down and controlling your breath to follow me, have a rest, let your breathing settle. And then try that practice again. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, heels. Inhale, lower the heels, but keep the arms reaching up. And then exhale, lower the arms. So we're going to repeat this another two times through. You might be going a little faster than me. You might be going a little bit slower than me. Try and find a smooth, steady rhythm that works for you, works for your breath, works for your body. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, heels up. Inhale, heels back down, but reaching up through the arms. And exhale, lower the arms. And when you finish, be at ease, let your weight rock and sway a little bit. See how that's feeling. And allow your breath to take care of itself. So the Ujjayi breath for me is like the difference between water that's just sort of gently flowing, rolling, flowing, undulating, trickling, and water that's been pressurized, like in your hose pipe or in a pressure washer, or perhaps in some sort of machinery like a water wheel where the water's got to run really fast to power the wheel, or in a hydroelectricity turbine or something. So with the Ujjayi breath, we actually We channel the breath and we slightly pressurize it. And it's a really great example, I think, of where a restriction, which is actually slightly restricting our breath by contracting the throat, a restriction can feel like a support, can be a useful thing. So next practice, you're going to need to have room to take your arms out to the side. So let me move a little bit away from the wall. Starting again with your weight evenly balanced over both feet. This time, as we breathe in, we're going to take our arms out to the sides and just bring them to about shoulder height. Breathing out, we're going to tip to one side, and at the same time, you reach your arms up and bring the palms of the hands towards each other. Not necessarily touching, in fact, probably not touching. You stay there for an inhalation, and then exhale all the way back down. And then the same to the other side. So inhale, arms to shoulder height, palms turned up. Exhale, tipping to the other side. Reaching the palms of the hands towards each other. Little side bend. Inhale, stay, sorry. And then exhale all the way back down. And you can have a little rest. So we're going to do that alternating sides. Twice more to each side, so you can continue at your own time. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale, tipping over to the sides. Make sure you're not tipping forward. So it's a side bend. Stay for your inhale. It's like the breath can really circulate in the top side lung. And exhale all the way back down. Inhale, shoulder height arms. Exhale, tipping over to the other side. Stay for the inhale. Exhale all the way back. One more time to each side. Remember, gently channeling the breath. Feeling how the breath can be a support for the movement. And when you finish, be at ease. You can roll your shoulders and let your breath take care of itself. Let it be free to flow how it wants. Turn the pressure washer off. So now we're going to use the wall, hit the wall. And you need to be standing near enough to the wall, with the wall at your side. So you can stand with a bent elbow. And this might take a little bit of trial and error to get this just perfect for you. So let me show you how it looks on me. So I'm standing quite close to the wall. So I can put my hand on the wall at shoulder height and my elbows bent. I'm going to bring my feet close together. And I'm going to take my free arm up and then over my head. And I want to be able to rest my fingertips here actually on the wall. So if I'm too far away, it's a bit of a reach. And if I'm too close, it feels a bit kind of congested. So sort of trial and error a little bit until you feel that's just perfect. Feet together, arm out to the side, up and over, fingertips rest on the wall. And then we're going to just gently press the wall with our fingertips. You can press with the fingertips of both hands and stay for 4 or 5 breaths. You can use the Ujjayi breath. And we're looking for a lovely open feeling in the side of the body. Make sure again you're not tipping forward, because then you lose that sensation. So you're kind of almost rolling backwards, and you can turn your head and look up at your elbow. And feel how gentle support and gentle pressure into the wall can almost give you a sensation of really having more space to open. When you feel done, come back, roll the shoulders. And then we're going to do the same thing again, so same side. So now you've got it all nicely set up for you. Same side, So fingers lightly on the wall, other arm out to the side, up and over, and gently pushing into the wall with both hands. You can let your hips swing out if that feels good. So you don't have to wait for me to tell you to stop. You just do it for as long as it feels like it's serving you, is useful to you. Come out, roll your shoulders, and maybe just have a little walk around. Walk up and down your mat. And then when you come back, you can turn and face the other way. So sorry to turn my back to you. But we're going to do the same thing, second side. So I suggest you keep your feet quite close together. And when you're ready, arm sweeps up and over. Fingertips of both hands on the wall. And pressing gently into the wall. Directing the breath into this top lung. Calming out when you feel done. Have a little rest. And then if you enjoyed that, take it for a second time. Give it to yourself again. Think of yoga asana, yoga postures like little presents you give yourself. So you don't have to give yourself anything that isn't nice to receive. You can turn your head and look up at your elbow if that feels nice. When you're done, release, and again have a little walk up and down your mat, have a little walk around. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to do something symmetrical to even ourselves up after all of that. So this next one, again using the wall for support, we're going to face the wall, and you put your hands on the wall at, I would say, about eye level. As you place your hands on the wall, really stretch out your fingers, make space in between the fingers. Have your middle fingers pointing up towards the ceiling, and for some reason the other fingers have all decided they don't like the middle fingers and are trying to get away from them. So the hands on the wall, take your feet back until your feet are about a leg's distance away from the skirting boards. Have your toes pointing forwards, and then gently pushing your hands into the wall, let your hips come back over your heels. And you're looking for a straight line from your hands all the way down to your hips, and then from your sit bones all the way down to your heels. Ideally to create a feeling of openness in both sides of the body now, and a comfortable stretch for the backs of the legs, all the way down the backs of the legs. If you want more stretch, see about taking your heels a bit wider, toes turned in. And try not to go too low so it ends up being sort of hangy and saggy. We're going to keep the hands quite high up the wall. And gently pressing the wall with the arms, reaching through the arms so as to send the hips back. Don't wait for me to tell you if it's time for you to come out, but don't let me rush you if you're enjoying this. When you are ready, you just step forward and you can lean on the wall. Put your forearms on the wall, or even put your head on the wall. Give your hips a little wiggle. Let your breathing settle, resting. And then be at ease. Okay, so we're going to continue using the wall to open and stretch the backs of the legs. So for this next one, you stand again facing the wall, hands on the wall, about eye level or shoulder level, somewhere around that region. And I'd like you to have your feet hip width apart, toes pointing forwards, and then take a comfortable step back with your right foot, and be very particular about keeping the right foot still facing forward. So we're not going to turn it out like you might if you were doing Warrior One. So just keep the toes facing forward directly to the wall, and make sure that you can get your heel, the heel of your right foot, all the way down on the floor so the right leg is straight. And then we're going to bend the left knee until you feel a comfortable stretch in the right leg, right calf. You can move it around a little bit until you feel you've got the best sensation. We're going to stay for about 4 breaths, just stretching that right calf all the way down the back of the lower leg. There shouldn't be too much weight in the left knee, and you can resist a little bit, push the wall a little bit to deepen the stretch. And then, keeping the same position, we're just going to slightly bend the right knee, and I'm hoping that what will happen is you'll feel you're still getting a stretch in your right calf, but it's a slightly different one. So maybe a little bit lower, a little bit more intensity now in the Achilles area. Just the very bottom of your right leg. Breathing into that. Using the wall for support and also resistance. Push into the wall. Deepen the stretch, give yourself more intensity if you want it. And then we're going to release. And I suggest you just have a little walk up and down your mat and see how that's feeling. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. So give the other side the same treatment. Hands on the wall, both feet facing the wall, toes pointing towards the wall. This time you're going to take your left foot back, a foot or so, maybe a little bit more, and toes still facing the wall. Place the left heel down on the floor. So already you might feel that starting to open the calf, back of the left leg, and it might be enough, just like that. You deepen it by bending the right knee. And breathing. Resisting, pushing the wall a little bit. Using Ujjayi breath. Remember, you're in charge of you, so if it gets too strong, just back off a little bit. And then when you're ready, bend the left knee a little bit, so you're changing the sensation, you're sending the stretch a little bit more into the lower part of the leg, lower left calf. A few breaths here. Okay, and when you feel done, you're going to release, have a little walk up and down your mat, shake your legs out, see how that's feeling. And we're going to come back to the symmetrical position, hands on the wall, eye level, feet back about a leg's distance, and you're sending your hips back. So let your ears settle somewhere in between your shoulders. Toes turn in if you want a bit more. And keep your hands quite high up the wall, so we're not we're not sagging down. Because you want to be able to gently press the wall with your arms and send your hips back over your heels. Staying until you feel done, not letting me rush you, neither letting me hold you here too long. And then resting. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is on the floor, but we're going to be putting our feet up on the wall, and we're not quite ready for our relaxation. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of work, if you like, so I'm paying attention. And so we don't want actually to be too close to the wall. We want to have our feet, sorry, our knees probably about a right angle. So I don't know if you can see that there, but I haven't got my bum right up against the wall. I've left a little bit of space. So when I put my feet up on the wall, and it is my feet that I'm putting on the wall, the soles of my feet, I've got a kind of a right angle at my knees. I'm actually going to go a little bit closer. Actually, let me just show you again. We might be rolling in and out of legs up the wall a few times in the next few minutes. So you could have a little practice at just rolling in and rolling out. So I want to be a bit closer, so I'm going to scoot back a little bit nearer to the wall, roll in. Yeah, that feels good for me, so I'm going to stay. All right. So we don't at this stage need any props other than the wall. So we're lying on our backs and we've planted our feet onto the wall. And actually think of it like that, like you're planting your feet into the wall, like you could be growing little roots out of the soles of your feet, from the base of the big toe, the base of the little toe, and from the heel, and then you can lift up all your toes and flare them. And your feet make kind of like suckers on the wall. They get really glued in. Or I like to think of them in this position like three-pointed plugs that you've just clicked into the wall. So feet are really nicely glued or planted or connected into the wall. Place your arms down by your sides and begin to channel your breath with Ujjayi breath. Now, a practical thought. If you need to turn your head to one side to be able to see what I'm doing, my suggestion is that you turn your head now to one side and watch me do this once, and then turn your head back to center and have a go on your own, because it's not a great idea to have your head turned to one side as you do this practice. So I'm going to put my head back at the center, so my chin's in line with my breastbone. And it looks like this. We're going to inhale and take the arms, but just to vertical. Exhale, pushing the wall with your feet, let your pelvis lift up. It doesn't have to come up very far, just an inch or so. Then with your inhale, take the arms all the way over and let the pelvis lift higher. And exhale, all the way back down. So I'll talk you through that. What I will say is that I've changed my mind. I'm going to go a bit further from the wall again. If you feel that it creates a feeling of pressure or compression in the back of your neck, do a little bit less and come further away from the wall. Okay, and we'll try this together. So inhale, arms to vertical. Exhale, press the wall with your feet, lift your pelvis. Inhale, arms go the rest of the way. Your pelvis will quite naturally go a bit higher. And then exhale, arms and hips all the way down in one smooth movement. So we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms reaching up into the space in front of you. Exhale, press the wall, lift your hips. Inhale, it's like you open the space from your breastbone all the way to your knees. And exhale all the way back down. 1 more time. Inhale, arms, exhale, hips. Inhale, open the space, breastbone to knees. And exhale all the way back down. And then rest. So relax your breathing, let your head roll from side to side. And we're going to bend our knees in. Roll over to one side. Come up to sitting so that you can get your scarf or your yoga belt. Okay, what shall I choose? I think I'm going to use my scarf. And I'm going to roll back down. So we're coming into the same position as we were in a moment ago, lying on your back. Plant your feet on the wall. Take your scarf or your yoga belt and we're going to tie our legs together. So the advantage of a yoga belt is it has an adjustable buckle. With the scarf, you've just got to get it the right width on your first go. So you want your knees about hip width apart, so you probably don't have your knees touching, a little gap between the knees, and then tie your belt or your scarf. So you can pull your knees away from each other, but they can't go because the scarf's got them. So you can kind of take your knees away from each other and you'll feel that resistance, you'll feel that strength in your legs. Okay. You just turn this way so you can see for a moment that the scarf has got my knees at hip width. With your back here. All right, so same sequence again, feet plugged into the wall, chin in line with the breastbone, arms start down by your sides, palms turned down. You might gently flare your toes so as to root the balls of your feet and your heels into the wall or click them in like three-pointed plugs, using Ujjayi breath, channeling the breath. And then with an inhale, take your arms to vertical. Exhale, push into the wall with your feet, let your pelvis lift. Inhale, open the space, breastbone to knees. And exhale all the way back down. We're going to do 3 more like this. Moving at your own pace. Inhale, arms, exhale, hips. Inhale, open the shape. And exhale all the way down. So remember, if you meet discomfort or restriction in the neck or in the arms, you do a bit less. You can do this with your arms by your side, leaving your arms on the floor. If you're meeting difficulty in your arms, you would just inhale, exhale, lift your hips, inhale, lift the breastbone, and exhale, coming back down. With the arms, it's inhale, arms to vertical. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, arms all the way over. And exhale, all the way back down. And I'm hoping that what you are discovering is that this restriction that we've placed around the legs, tying our legs together, can actually feel like a support, can somehow give us a sense of containment and steadiness that allows for more opening. So when you've completed, let your breathing settle, roll your head gently from side to side. And then bend your knees in, roll over to one side, come up and sit, so that you can slide yourself a little bit closer to the wall, and also get ready some extra props. So get ready a cushion or a folded blanket that can act as a cushion, and put that down more or less where you think your head is going to be. And have a little experiment. So we're going to roll back into this legs up the wall position. So this time I've put my bottom much closer to the wall so my legs are more vertical. And I'm hoping that because we've done quite a lot to warm up and stretch the backs of the legs, that you might find that's quite comfortable. But if you don't, just wiggle further away from the wall so you've got a little bit more leeway and you can have a little bit of bend in your knees. So see what you need. And I like this position because you can see your toes. So give your toes a little wiggle. Say hello to your toes. Blow them some kisses. Love your feet. And we're looking for here a position. I've still got my legs tied together. I hope you noticed that. So you want to keep still have your legs tied together. So you're looking for a position where you can, where your hips are neutral. So we've not got our feet turned out to the sides. Neither have we particularly got our toes turned in towards each other. But your feet are going to act almost like a kind of plate holder. Imagine you could put a plate on your feet. You could hold something up like that. Heels pointing up towards the ceiling. And then the legs like two nice long columns that just click into the hip sockets. And then the scarf to stop your feet from sliding away and falling down the wall. And I'm going to suggest you just close your eyes and see if you can really let go of your legs. Let the wall support your legs, let the scarf support your legs, let your pelvis support your legs. So it feels as if the weight of the legs is actually pinning your pelvis to the floor. And then open up your eyes, bend your knees in towards your chest. And we're going to roll out so we can get some more props. So roll over to your side, come up to sitting. And I'm hoping you've still got another blanket. And I'm actually going to swap my yoga prop. I'm going to swap my scarf for my belt so I can show you something else to do with the scarf, if you happen to have a scarf and a belt. So here we are, I'm going to tie my legs together, same position, so you're tying the legs together just above the knees. If you've got even more scarves and belts and lengths of fabric, you could also tie your legs together just below the knees for extra support. This belt is very long. All right. And if you're not enjoying the feeling of having your legs tied together, you could untie your legs. And I always make jokes in my classes that it took me years and years to learn how to do a yoga belt, and I'm now proving it by apparently having completely forgotten. All right, we're away. So, belt around my legs. So I'm getting another blanket at the ready, and I've got my scarf at the ready. And you might want to watch this and then do it after. So I'm rolling in into position. And this blanket is good because it's a nice heavy one. I'm going to put over my feet. I'm going to put a blanket onto the plate of my feet, which one gives me a bit of padding against the wall, which feels nice. 2, keeps my feet warm. And 3, actually increases the weight of the legs descending down into the pelvis. Now, if you're already done with straight legs up the wall, everything we're about to do next can be done with your knees bent, come a bit further from the wall so that it feels really comfortable, or with your legs up on a chair so you can really let them relax now. I can do my wiggle back in again. So you'll know what's right for you. If you like having your legs open and straight, go for it. The next option, you can leave your blanket where it is underneath your head, and this is going to give you more of a flat back feeling on the floor. Or you can take the blanket out and instead put it under your pelvis. So it's going to be a supported version of the kind of half shoulder stand type posture we did before. And this is going to give us more of an extension pattern in the body. So a little bit of backward bend, ribs lifting and open, head dropping down below the heart. So this is a bit of an inversion. And I suggest you have an experiment. So do you want your blanket under your head? Does that feel better? Do you want your blanket under your pelvis? Does that feel nice? Bearing in mind that with the blanket under the pelvis, you are making this even more of an inversion. So I'm going to leave my blanket here under my pelvis. And I'm going to leave my legs like this, quite straight. You can see I'm still not completely touching the wall with my bottom. That's okay. You can go closer if you want to. We're looking for a real feeling of support for the legs. So remember, there's the option to set this posture up with your feet on a chair instead. And once you've decided, legs straight or legs bent, blanket under your pelvis or blanket under your head, you can cover your eyes. And the reason I swapped my belt for my scarf was because the scarf makes a much nicer eye cover than the belt. And with the scarf, you can actually make it a complete head wrap. So you put it over your forehead, wrap it round the back of your head, and then settle like that. So it feels quite, you don't want weight on your eyes or pressure on your eyes, but just the support of the scarf around your forehead, around the occipital bones, the base of the skull. That can feel really comforting. And then you let your arms rest down by your sides or out wide at shoulder height, or you can place the palms of your hands in over your ribs or on your lower belly, finding where feels just nice for you. And if you're able to pull in another blanket and put it over the top of you, even better. And we're going to have a little settling period like this, so making ourselves very comfortable and settling in for a bit of relaxation, which is precisely why it's very important that you choose a position now that does feel comfortable and supportive. Allow the belt to take some of the weight of your legs. So you can let your legs slide outwards into the support of the belt. And feel the weight of your femurs, your top thighs, dropping down into the pelvis. So again, as if the weight of the legs was pinning your pelvis in place. Feel the support at your back. And see if you can give it a little bit more of your weight down into the earth. Be aware of your eyes resting and your face becoming soft and smooth. Yawn. Releasing your jaw and your throat. And allow the breath to flow without effort. So just normal, natural, easy, effortless breathing now. And pay attention to the sensation of the breath moving in and out of the body. Touch of the air inside the nostrils. Could be cooler on the inhalation and warmer on the exhalation. And the sensation of the breath moving deep down inside the body. Perhaps you feel a gentle rising and falling around the abdomen. Perhaps you feel a little expansion around the side ribs, the sides of the chest. You may experience some sensations in the upper back. You may even experience some sensation in the front of the chest, in the top front of the chest, around the collarbones, or just behind the breastbone. And resting your attention now just behind the breastbone. Cultivate a sensation of gladness or of warmth, bringing to mind now something that warms your heart or makes you feel glad, makes you feel thankful. And it doesn't have to be anything particularly grandiose. It might be something quite day-to-day, like your cat, or a friend, or someone that you love. Or just a lovely thing that's happened today or at some point. Something that makes you say, oh. Maybe it's just a gladness for the opportunity to lay down and rest. And then with a slightly stronger, deeper breath, slowly inhale and gather up some of that warmth and gladness in the center of your chest. And as you slowly exhale, send it out and around the whole of your body. And then let your breathing return to normal, just normal, natural, easy, effortless, flowing breath. Normal breath in, normal breath out. And in your own time, when it feels like just the right time, again, rest your awareness in the center of the chest, in your soft, warm heart. And with a slow inhalation, gather up some of that love and warmth in your heart. And slowly exhaling, send it out and around the whole of your body. And then normal breathing. Watch as your breath settles back into its natural pattern. And when you feel the breath settled and it feels like just the right moment for you to do this, again, rest your awareness in the center of the chest, slowly breathing in, gather up some love and warmth from your heart. And slowly breathing out, send it out and around the whole of your body, and if you like, even further, beyond, if you like. And then let your breath settle. And I'm going to suggest you continue this practice in your own time for another few minutes, just alternating between natural breathing and then when it feels like the right time in your own time. We slow breath into the heart space and slow breath out around the body and beyond as far as you like. Until you hear the sound of my bells. So gently now, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Welcoming in the sound of the bell and also the sounds where you are. What do you hear around your home or in the world just outside? Listen out and around you for the furthest away sound. Cast out your awareness as far as it will go. I know that somewhere out there, that's where we can all meet, where our attention can meet, out in that wide open space all around us. And then gather your awareness right back in. Listen for the sound of your breath. You might like to yawn or sigh. And connect with your sense of touch, feeling the shape of your body, the position of your body, the contact between your body and the wall or your chair and the floor at your back, clothing and blankets against your skin. Connect with the sense of smell. And you could lick your lips or run your tongue along your teeth, see what you can taste. And you might not want to open your eyes just yet. You could simply have a very clear image of where you are, what you expect to see when you do open your eyes. And then you could bend your knees in towards your chest one by one and roll over onto one side. And while you're lying on your side, let your eyes open. And then when you're ready, ease yourself up to sitting. And we'll finish with a short seated practice. You can sit, you can kneel, you can sit in a chair. And in the spirit of this evening's class, taking support from the wall, I will just show you one option for sitting with support from the wall, which is kind of one up on simply sitting and leaning against the wall. If you take a blanket and roll it, it's a fairly short, fat, stubby roll. And you can come and sit up, leaning against the wall. Do whatever you like with your legs. Stretched out in front of you is fine. And you put your rolled blanket down the middle of your back, length of your upper back in particular, so it doesn't want to be too low down. It's between the shoulder blades. So you've got something to lean on, but it's not a collapse. The chest is still a little lifted. And you have a sense of being able to sit up with some support, sit up. Keeping a nice open space here in the abdomen and a nice long line from the head to the pelvis. Upright sitting position. Perfect for a little bit of breathing to complete the practice. And we're going to return to using Ujjayi breath. So breathing in and out through the nostrils. Letting there be a slight soft rubbing in the back of the throat. And see if you can get a nice, smooth, soft, steady rhythm. So it's not too slow, not so slow you end up running out of breath after just one or two breaths and gasping for air. But not too fast either. Just right for you. Place your palms down on your lap, and then with an inhalation, turn your palms upward. And exhaling, turn your palms back down again. Very soft, gentle movement, but coordinated with your breath. Inhale, palms turned up. Exhale, palms turned down. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms down. As you inhale, turn both palms up. And with your next exhale, only turn the right palm down. Inhaling, turn the right palm up. And as you exhale, only turn the left palm down. And inhaling, turn the left palm up. Exhaling, right palm down. Inhaling, right palm up. Exhale, left palm down. And continue that alternating pattern in your own time, at your own pace. Taking care not to speed the breathing pattern up. And keeping the movement very soft and delicate and coordinated with the breath. Complete the pattern by turning the left palm up and then leave both palms turned upward in your lap. And relax your control of your breathing. Just let the breath flow at ease. Normal, natural breathing. And pay attention to the sensations in the palms of your hands. And when you're ready, gently bring the palms of your hands together and guide them into the center of your chest.